Hey YouTube, Longboys Post 1975. Yeah, Xbox One, my thoughts. Now, before you say, I thought you weren't going to go next gen, I'm not going to go next gen. But there is a reason I've talked about this, because I was still curious, and I've come to the conclusion that fuck me, Microsoft, for you barking up the wrong tree. Anyway, I'm running before I can walk. I'm very, very tired. I've made some notes because I'm very, very tired. I just watched this event. I did a little bit of digging around on Tinterwebs. Basically, I've been at college for 2 days, and as someone who works nights, having to adjust to getting up at 7 AM and making sure you're in bed no later than 1 AM is kind of a life changer. So quite a lot of stuff's gone, over my head lately, over the last 2 days. I am tired. But I came home and I had an inbox with like 4 or 5 people saying, oh, did you watch the Xbox, sort of reveal, the Microsoft Xbox One reveal trailer, and what are your thoughts? Now, as I said, I'm not going to go next gen. If you want to go next gen, that's fine. That's perfectly fine. I would never tell anyone or dictate to anyone what they can or can't do, because each individual, it is different. And because I'm not going, there's nothing wrong if you do. At the same time, if you want a speed reader's version of why I'm not going next gen, go and check out the 16-Bit Brothers. They're in my shuffle list, and I put a link to their epic channel, the Doohickey Down Below. I'm pretty sure you know who they are. I was on their latest episode. I was a guest, I should say, on the latest episode of Masturbators, in which we talked about, where do we think gaming will be in 10 years, and I give a very, quick, short overview of, why I fear gaming in the future, and a couple of those aspects make it into this, even though this would be the, a prior generation and not 10 years, but you know what I mean. Anyway, yeah, so people asked me what I thought, so I went and checked it out. First of all, I know it's a kind of a propaganda effect, but I found it very irritating. Quite a lot of the time I was just like, Christ, seriously, get to the point. And then a lot of the time was the audience was just irritating. They were just cheering stuff that was quite frankly embarrassing. The guy says Xbox on and there's like, woo! I'm like, don't we have that technology now already? I don't know. I swear to God, the guy could have picked up a chicken at one point and just went, chicken, and he would have got a response from the audience. But it's a corporate event. It's propaganda. Right off the bat, I do have to, such a cynical bastard, aren't I? Right off the bat, I do have to say, the console. Now, the looks of a console have never really affected, how it's performed, been received, or its success. I mean, look at the original PlayStation 3. I always thought it looked like a grand piano, but my thoughts on the Xbox One, quite frankly, it could be a good looking console if it was smaller. It's freaking huge. It's humongous. I mean, thank God the new the Xbox Kinect, which is bigger and uglier itself, thank God that's not been included in it, because it would have been even bigger. I'm no expert on sort of tech and shit, but does it really need to be that big? It's called Xbox One because it's an all-in-one solution or whatever, but I guess they could have called it Xbox One because it's like the original Xbox, in the sense that it's pretty much, well, it's bigger, but it's pretty much the size of a VCR. I wouldn't say it's ugly, I would just say it's oversized, massively oversized. But yeah, so Xbox One. Now, here's what makes me laugh, or just, again, me being a cynical bastard, but I think Microsoft has really sort of missed the boat on this one, because where they're promoting the future of consoles or whatever is kind of away from gaming, and there's nothing wrong with diversifying, but not with how they promoted this. Right now, the specs, I'm not going to get into that or anything. It's got Blu-ray, that's good. The specs are what you would expect, shiny and fantastic. It's the next gen console, so the games, and we're never going to see too many games because it's not E3, but we didn't certainly see enough. But they looked fantastic. What we saw looked fantastic, but that's not my problem with this system, because you would expect that from a next generation console. There were a couple of things they promoted that I thought were kind of, what? They said, no waiting on system updates. That's a good thing. It was all about speed, speed, speed. No waiting on game updates. Well, that you can't fucking promote that, because that's been a contentious point with a lot of people for a long time, in the sense that release a finished game. So what did they show? They showed Quantum Break, they showed some EA Sports stuff. Yeah, it looked really, really good, but that was never really, really in question, was it? It's bound to look good because it's an next-gen console, but my problem with that was, that's the aspect I wanted if I was going to go next-gen, which is gaming. But Microsoft seemed to think that while that's important, obviously it is still going to be heavily promoted as a game console, they've gone off on this whole fucking tangent that I just thought was pointless. Their big thing about it was it's intelligent TV. They were saying like, well, you know, TV is important. It's a focal hub in your house, and I guess to some degree it is. But they were trying to market the console on that. Your living room is such a chore, such a cumbersome place, so complicated, too slow, too fragmented. Really, I can live with this. You know, I can live with this. I like the way my living room is. I like the way that it's fragmented. I like TV, you know. I like it being separate from my stereo and my computer. I don't necessarily want them all combined, and if I did, wouldn't I just buy a high-end PC with a fucking TV card? You know, it felt sort of really laboured and kind of just a chore how they were promoting it. It was just, this is the future. Basically being able to switch between TV channels by saying change channel, change channel, change channel, show me my favourites, show me a TV guide. Basically, you got rid of this and you replaced it with this. You know, that's the future of fucking Xbox. Somehow the TV needs to be improved. That really, because obviously I'm assuming because they were talking about real TV that there's like you put your TV cable, your satellite signal into it, and then you can use the advantage of the Xbox over the top, which I guess is technically impressive, but I just felt the need you didn't need to do it, and it was just the way it was so laboured. And there was stuff like, oh, your living room. I mean, changing the inputs. Really, changing the inputs so you can go from TV to a game. I don't know. I use this button. May take 2 seconds. I really don't find it that much of a chore. You know, yeah, so it's just voice control. It's so fast, it's so fast. You can do movie, you can do TV, you know, you can do music. You can do them all at once. And it was just like, we're basically making, we're streamlining TV, we're making it more sort of focal. They were kind of saying like it's going to be the new water cooler, you know, of someone's house. By that, it's a focal point, everyone sits around, discusses everything, and it's, you know, you've removed all this laboured aspect and you just get to get straight on with the business and hands down. And I just thought, no, see, the importance of TV to me is not how you view it, because technically a truly engaging program that's intelligent, educational and entertaining, you could watch it on a black and white TV, you know, you could watch it on a phone, you will still take away the same message. So you can streamline it all you want, but the reward will be exactly the same. So that to me was just like, constantly, you know, the crowd was just going, yay, yay, yay. We was changing channels and shit like that. I just thought that was kind of over, sort of exaggerating how good it was. I'm not doubting the tech. I just thought, oh, and you can minority report and stuff. They would make a point of that. You know, you can use your voice, or you can do this. You can scroll up, scroll down. There's something called snap mode. You can run multiple programs. You know, you can watch a TV program and you can go, hey, who's that guy? And you can call up the internet next to it and you can check it. And this was something they really shoved down your throat. If you're watching sports, but you do like the fantasy league of it, you can, you know, call up sports and then call up your fantasy league. I just didn't think this was important, you know. And they could be real time, and so, you know, your list of players you've selected to be in your fantasy league, it will be updated and shit like that. And then it was like, oh, but I've had enough. I can now watch a movie, but wait, I need to call someone, so I can now call Skype. Alright, the new Kinect's 1080 or whatever, that's the camera, that's impressive. But I don't know about you, but I just don't have that short attention span. I don't need to fucking juggle that much shit at once. You know, that was, again, maybe impressive technology, but I just thought, I don't need it. And isn't, again, technically that's something you could achieve on a PC anyway, but now we get to the bit that, which is why I fear the future, and yeah, oh, it's coming. They're kind of, I guess, well, they didn't mention it in the video and the other stuff I checked on the interwebs, but they're kind of probably saying, well, we gave you, you know, the ability to play used games, what more do you want? But anyway, before we get to that, so it's not backwards compatible, which I understand the argument, which is, and this is, you know, this wasn't in the unveil, but it's, well, it's different architecture, it's a completely different system. Well, so was the 360 compared to the original Xbox, because if you play an Xbox game on 360, it's emulation. So if this system is all shining and dancing, as it probably is, because it's next gen, could you not emulate an inferior system? You know, or I guess it's assuming they don't want to. Maybe they couldn't, I don't know. But here's the best bit. If you want to play a pre-owned game, there is an additional fee. Now, their logic behind it is quite good, in the sense that I guess they think they found a way to justify it. But what they're basically saying is every game comes with a mandatory install. And by that I mean you'll install it in your hard drive, but for once you don't have to have the disc in the drive to play it. I get that. So what they're basically saying is, therefore, if you gave the disc to someone else, they could have the game for free, you know. But, well, isn't that kind of what we have now anyway? What's the big problem? Well, we know what the big problem with that is. You didn't like it, you know, Microsoft, EA and stuff like that. So, yeah. But my problem with that is they promoted this TV aspect of, you know, it's now the central hub of your house, it's more social, it gives you this new talking point, this water cooler effect. Well, what the fuck do you give about the social aspect of anything? If you're removing the ability for me to lend a game to a mate, he's broke, his game. Or, you know, or let's go over your house tonight instead of mine, let's get pizza, let's get some beer, let's have a gaming night. As we've always done way back in the day, I just think Microsoft doesn't have the right to do that, to remove one of the most social aspects of gaming ever. If your friend wants to borrow a game, he has to pay money to play it, even though you've paid for it. Their argument is, well, because you've installed it, so you don't need the disc anymore, so therefore, why should he install it for free? But fuck off. Fuck off, Microsoft. This is something, I've not read into it because I'm not a PlayStation person, but if Sony, if you want to steal away from Microsoft, well, A, just make a purely gaming console, because I think that's what people want, and B, let people play used games. I know you don't want to, but you lost the battle against Microsoft last time. This alone would let you win it, you know, and again, don't shove TV down people's throats, because I don't think people want this multimedia thing that controls your entire fucking living room. They want a games console. But yeah, no lending out games, a second installation fee, that alone to me is Microsoft is pissed on everyone's chips. I'm sorry I'm being, you know, kind of negative and ranty about this. I mean, I approached it with the fact that some of this I knew was coming, but this to me is Microsoft really missing the boat. If they allowed you to use second-hand games or used games, or, you know, borrow games off your mates, if they've focused this console on gaming and not this multimedia, because there's nothing wrong with Netflix and stuff like that, that's not what I'm saying, but they've gone so heavily into TV. Like, the future of gaming is TV and the ability to fucking control it with your hands and do it with your voice and make it instantaneous, and then have all these open windows because you got, you know, no attention span. That's not the future of a console. That I understand that they've probably done it because everyone needs something unique, drawing factor to stand out from, you know, everyone else, but this to me is not it. I wanted a fucking gaming console if I was going next gen. This is not it. So yeah, sorry I'm such a miserable, cynical bastard, but these are my thoughts initially on whether they will, you know, evolve and change, because I'm assuming quite a lot of people are quite pissed off with a lot of this, and by the time we get to E3, you know, we'll see some amazing games and stuff like that, and we will see some leniency or changes in the way that, you know, they're going to do what they've started to, you know, implement with this system before it's out. I don't know, you know, nothing's ever set in stone, but from what I've seen so far and what I've read so far, I think Microsoft is barking up the wrong tree and pissing on the chips of quite a lot of their market potential. Anyway, I would love to know what you think. Have you watched it? You know, have you read anything about it? What do you think? Personally, I think Xbox One, quite frankly, right now looks like a massive pile of number 2. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you later.